convert into Nifty. So now we're going to reorganize the structure and the naming into BIDS format, but we have encountered some questions because we are not quite familiar with the BIDS format. Okay, so first is the DICOM questions. Now here shows the data structures in our NAS. We store our DICOM like image in DICOM like this. So we have a folder name like role DICOM and the project and the subject name, and under the folder it will be like several series. Yeah, so it will be stored like this. And apparently this is not like a very BIDS format like style. So we have some questions about this DICOM formatting. So the first one is, would the DICOM folder organization conflict with BIDS? Because like BIDS format have a very strong structure in the Nifty files, but not like in the DICOM files. So we have a questions about, should we modify the DICOM folder names, or how to do it to like fit the BIDS format? This is the first question.
I don't think for this particular instance, the DICOMs don't really matter that much. The organization depends a little bit on the tool that you're using. I don't know how much you've looked into this, but there are certain tools that kind of do a lot of the work for you. One of them that I've used before is called DCM to BIDS, like DCM to NRI, but DCM to BIDS. And for that particular tool, I think requires the different sessions to be in different folders, like it is at the moment here, I think. So this organization should be fine, I think. It would depend a little bit on the tool that you're using. There's another one called like HoidyConf. I can send you some info later, or I have it on some slides.
Okay, sure.
That I think is a bit more automatic. That should be able to just identify the sessions on its own.
So actually the folders isn't really matter. I mean, the folders naming?
For the DICOM, not really.
Oh, I see.
It should be able to just identify what is what based on the files inside them.
So Robert, just to confirm, so the BIDS format should be follow like it can be applied to the raw data, or
when you say raw data, is it the like the DICOM data?
Yes. The data.
Okay. Yes. In BIDS, it's typically the DICOMs are typically called the source data.
Oh yeah, source.
And then from the source, you apply the whole BIDS machinery onto the source, and then it's organized in like BIDS structure and Nifty files. And then the like reorganized unprocessed files are typically the raw files that you can then refer to. And so once the DICOMs are pretty much converted into the BIDS structure, you don't really care about them anymore.
Yeah.
But I think Angelina's question, one of her question is that the files on the NAS folder now are quite messy, and some of them are already converted to Nifty files. So
what? Yeah, that's the second question.
That's a later question, right? Yeah, that can be tricky depending on what the situation is.
Okay.
But I think that DICOMs in itself are always kind of messy. They're not really like human readable anyway.
Okay. I think thanks for the first part. And so the second part is the nifty question, because BIDS has some. I'm not sure about how to pronounce the BIDS bits or something. Okay, so
Yeah,
this
just
bits. Okay, so bits have very strong structures and nifty files, and here shows the current data structure in our NAS. So we have. Sorry, this is the nifty one.
Yep.
Change it, nifty. Okay, so we have this original raw nifty and the project name and the subjects in this project and the date, like dash and date is the image collection date. And under this folder, we'll have like ANA init and res init, and under this init, we'll have a JSON files and a nifty file. So the data structure is like this, and we have like about 700 files, 700 subjects storing like this. So we want to like organize them into like very BIDS format. So first questions is about the naming. So now you can see in our current storage, it will be a project and the subject ID and the date. So the first question is, we saw some documents that the BIDS format have a subject like this subject and dash and the number structure. So is this necessary to be stored like this, or can we just use the original our project and the name and the subject number instead? So this is the first question.
Before that, since it's a lot of data, is the data also kind of old?
It collects about like 10 years across 10 years from the hospital. So
And
yeah.
The DICOM data is not available for them anymore?
We also have the DICOM files.
Okay.
Yeah. Just
I'm asking because converting it from nifty files can be tricky.
really
depending on which tool was used to convert the DICOMs to nifty in the first place. Like it's in the example you showed here, you have two files per like subject or per modality. Like you have the nifty file and the JSON file, which tells me that this was converted with a fairly recent tool. If this is available for every subject, then it is much easier. If the JSON file is missing for some subjects, then there is not much you can do except going back to the DICOMs.
I see. We've checked the JSON files are existing for every subject because the two was always show up together. So we hope we're not going to convert from the DICOM because 700 data is quite big. So is it possible to like first question is it possible to name like this, or can we just store let me think about it. Wait a minute.
Angelina, you mentioned that like converting from DICOM to nifty, well, it takes a lot of time. But
yeah.
But around approximate how long will you predict?
I have no idea, but
because
I'm now downloading the DICOMs.
Because I think Robert would suggest like just start from DICOM and it will be a lot easier. Is it?
That depends really.
It depends. Okay.
Like a lot of the answers I'm gonna give start with depends as far as I can tell. The reason is if you have the JSON and the nifty files, it should be fine.
But
most of the tools available
Okay.
simply start from the DICOM and then just convert them into Nifty and already organize it to bits.
Ah, I
There
see.
are some tools, maybe they are also overlapping, that can also work with Nifty files already. But as long as the JSON files are there, if they're not there, you're missing a lot of information about the files that's not directly included in the files. And that information is really important for the bits conversion. So I'm saying if we don't have the JSON files, then it's probably better to just use the DICOMs.
I see.
So
Okay.
Angelina, you say you have checked all the folders and the JSON files are intact, right? They are
there, right?
okay.
Yeah, but another question is because I was more familiar with like EEG, and to change the file or the folder names is quite difficult in EEG data, and we have the like JSON files and Nifty files with the identical name, but if we want to change or rename them, we're not sure if this is possible, or it will be better to convert from DICOM with the data name and with the naming we want. So this is another like technical issues in this data set.
Yeah, I think like most of this work will be done by some tool that you're gonna
Tools,
use.
okay.
Yeah, like you don't have to rename and recopy or like move stuff around. That would be too much work.
Yeah.
But there are tools that do this for you, at least for DICOM to bits.
I see.
Some have extensions that already work with pre-existing Nifty files as well, but I have not used it, but I can help with that.
I see. So the suggestions might be like from DICOM to Nifty, but not like rename the existed Nifty files, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So so this one, the first question is about the subject ID.
Yes.
Maybe you can start with this first. So is this necessary to use like subject
Yes.
dash? Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So this is a rule.
Convention.
Yes.
Okay.
This is without this, nothing else will work.
Oh, I see. Okay. Because like story the files naming with dash is kind of a risky in some coding system or something. So we avoid to use the dash in story. So I was like, is it necessary to be like this? But now okay. So
Yeah.
should be like this.
No,
Okay.
there is no way around this.
Okay.
I where is it? I could share my screen for a second to show how this structure is working.
Great. Please go ahead.
Okay, so does it matter to like use the project name here? Is it okay?
That is personal preference. I think it could be related to the question later on. Hang on a second.
Okay.
Have I now overridden you with sharing my screen?
Yes.
Okay. Can you see the full screen?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. I've made a quick example. A quick example here for like the file names. Like it has to start with sub and then dash. That's like there's no way around that. And then what I call here label and index is typically user-defined, that you have freedom to call that whatever you want, as long as
I see.
you use like regular characters or numbers. Then in red here are so-called keys, which are predefined by the BIDS standard. So there's things like sessions or acquisition or task or directions. All of this, that's predefined, and you always have to pair this, like a key and a label or index. It's always a pair. And these are always connected by the dash. And then at the very end, you have the suffix, which is just a modality. It's like a T1 weighted, or like a bold acquisition, or like a T2 weighted, whatever. And this is kind of how you construct this file name. So as an example here, I just called it like sub-001 underscore, like you kind of build your file name string by having your key and label pairings connected by the underscore, and then the next key label pairing, and then underscore, and then connect the next key label pairing. So in this case, session 1, dir for direction, in this case, just AP, and then task dash resc, or it could also be an actual task that they're using, and then underscore bold for the to indicate the modality. So with this, you have, as I said, you have certain freedoms for labels. Labels is simply just strings, characters, and indexes are typically just numbers. So with this, you can then build your file name.
Like this will be a label.
Like this, yes.
Okay, I see.
Like you can either simply just count them up from like 001 up to 100, or depending on probably you should have leading zeros so that every file name has the same kind of number of characters. So not just calling sub-1, sub-2, and then eventually you have 10, and then you have like 2 digits there. So that's why you should then have sub-dash like 01, and then count up like that. Or in case you have like 100 subjects, almost 1,000, you would need like 3 leading zeros. It depends a little. Like later on, you ask whether or not you want to combine, or if it's a good idea to combine different studies. And that could also play into the naming here. Like if you were to call them simply a number, then combining them is a little bit trickier, I think. Because like, I don't know, the BD might have like 50 subjects, but the MDD might have like 150 subjects. And you need to know in advance how many subjects you call. From like 1 to 50 is then BD, and then from 51 upwards is then MDD. So that's a little bit tricky. If you have this identifier there, it makes it a bit more obvious.
Oh, I see. So maybe this question is solved, I think. Let me check.
Yes, if you want to combine them, but the other point is, I don't think I would combine them actually. You can still have you can still call them like sub BD1 and then sub MDD1 or 01. That's fine. But because I don't know what the data is or what the different studies include, if they come from a different scanner, if they have different modalities, if you were to combine them into one giant project, and then you run, I don't know, FreeSurf on it, I don't know if the sequences are all the same, so FreeSurf can use the same parameters for all the data. But if you have different data, you might want to tweak the different processing steps a little bit.
Oh, I see.
And if that's the case, it's probably better to have them as separate projects, or as separate BIDS projects.
So this depends on the consistencies between like our projects. Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Maybe you have to check all of the sequences and the device first. Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
And if I don't know if they have longitudinal data or not, if they have even like some data may have a certain sequence and some others, there's a lot of unknowns there that may cause some trouble. So when you keep them as a separate project, you can process them individually, but then because everything is named and organized in a pretty consistent way, afterwards it's pretty easy to search or find them because you know what to look for, because you know all the different namings already.
I see. Okay. We have another questions about the sessions, because
Yeah.
in the slides you showed us, session should be stored like this, right? So sessions and maybe like the dates or the baseline or whatever. Actually, we have a storage name like this.
Yeah.
So is this conflict with the like BIDS format, because it use a underline to connect the dates with the time they revisit? Yeah, so this is another question about, can we use this kind of naming to store different sessions or
No, I would say
no?
no.
Okay. No.
And the reason is, I think the date is this like acquisition date. That's not a good session indicator, because the acquisition date is different for everybody.
Oh yeah, right.
Right. So that doesn't work. If you then tell your processing tool process the second time point for everybody, it doesn't really know what to look for, because the session indicator is different for every subject.
Oh.
Whereas if you say process session
right.
2, and then we just go in and process every folder that's called session 2. But if you have the acquisition date as a name, it has 100 different dates. So that doesn't really work.
But how can we know about the acquisition dates without using the folder as a
Do you
name?
need to know the date?
Because do we need to know the date?
Or can it be included in the metadata like JSON?
It probably is in there, yes. The data was acquired, yes, it's probably in there.
Yeah,
But
I know.
I don't think it's useful to have it in the file name.
Yeah.
Oh.
So the
Unless
basic principle is to keep as similar as possible for across subjects, right?
Yes.
Okay, so the program will not run into any error.
No, yes, like practically, you don't really care on which date the data was acquired. All you need to know for your practical purposes is this is the data from session 2, and that session was, I don't know, 12 months afterwards or something. That's fine, you can call it that, but it's also not necessarily required for your data processing or analysis purposes.
Yeah.
All you need to know, this is a different time point, and that's called, some other way that's consistent across subjects.
Yeah, the study time point.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like you could call them session 01, session like 02, 03 for all. That fulfills the same purpose.
Yeah.
Oh, I think our time is time's up. But last questions. Last questions about the different acquisition protocols. How to like store these kind of informations and the naming. I mean, how to because we have different kinds of Nifty in our NAS now. Yeah, and with different like sequence or different parameters. And it's a little bit confusing if we didn't like open the JSON file. So we like to know, we like to know how to like store these message in the folder or in the file names. So
yeah. So the first is, I would ask what's the reason that there are like two different T1s in there?
actually,
like oftentimes it's because maybe the subject moved a little, and then you acquire another one to have a better data quality. That happens quite often. And if that is the case, you can do in the BIDS naming convention, there's a key called run. So then you can just call it run-01 and then run-02, for example. That would indicate then this is the same data with the same acquisition parameters, just two different copies of the file. If the copies or if the acquisition parameters are a little bit different, you can specify this with another like key value pair, such as like acquisition dash whatever, or you can kind of hack it together based on some less important bits kind of keys that they defined, like acquisition or yes, yeah, like that. Then you can do like acquired 1 millimeter resolution or acquired 0.8 millimeter resolution. That's a thing that you can, how you could differentiate two different types of files in there.
Let's see.
The tricky one is yes, if it's the same sequence with the same parameter, I would use like the run indicator. If it's same modality but different acquisition parameters, then you can use like acquisition or reconstructed keys and then have your label afterwards.
So if it's from the same subjects and recorded at the same day with different kinds of parameters, you will use the run instead of the equid one, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Most of our questions are solved right now. Maybe
there was another thing, I think.
Yeah, maybe the last one is because we have like bunch of sequence from the DICOM files and folders, and only the T1W and the both signals are converted into the Nifty files. So we would like to ask which types of sequence are recommended to be included in like the general BIDS data set. So what else should we convert?
But I would say whatever you have and whatever you're interested in.
Oh, I see. Depends on us. Okay.
Yeah, I would even suggest that since now this is the beginning of this like large scale conversion, to include as many as you can, simply because then it's done and you don't have to worry about that in the future anymore.
I see.
So like if somebody else comes in and says like in 6 months or a year, I would look at this data set or this modality, and if it hasn't been converted, then you kind of need to redo this all again. Just like for this modality, but still needs to be done.
I see. Okay. Thank you, Professor. for all the questions.
Like no problem. I've made some notes and I can send you some tools that I've used or some good resources for this.
Mm-hmm.
And if you have more questions or just want to chat about this, you can just email me and we can set something up.
Okay, thank you.
That's great. Thanks, Robert. I'm like now. Yeah. Okay. Then it's 3:37, so maybe we need to move on our original plan for the meeting. So.
Okay. I will share my
所以
screen.
印宁、俊凯，你们可以下线了。
好，谢谢谢老师。